Hello everyone, welcome to my sewing room. I'm Kim and this video is all about my 2025 makes. So I've collected them all up, been all the way through the house and just picked everything up I could possibly find. Not all of them are here because some of them have been gifted, but those that I have been able to find are in this room and it is crammed. I made quite a few things in the previous year, 25. And those of you that have been following me for a while know that everything I make goes onto a project sheet. So I've got my 2025 folder here with all of the projects that I've made throughout the year. So I do keep notes on everything I make because for me, I like to look back on these because if I decide to make something for, second, third, fourth or fifth time, I will go back and have a look to see, whether I had any problems with a particular pattern. And because I'm somebody who traced patterns and also makes 12s, I do like to make notes on things that maybe didn't look right, or I would make a note of them on my project sheet. So, and I personally find them invaluable. So using my project sheet folder, I'm going to work through all the things I made and I've split them up into categories. So I apologize because I will need to look down at my notes. So I do apologize for not looking at you directly. So the first thing I started the year off was my favourite shirt pattern, which is the Butterick 6747. Now, I make this shirt a lot. For me, this shirt is a real palette cleanser. So when I lose my sojo or if I can't think of anything to make, I will make one of these shirts. And the reason why I like this shirt pattern is because it is very simple. It's not got any design features in it at all. It doesn't even have bust darts. It doesn't even have a back yoke. It's just two front panels, back panel, sleeves, cuff, collar stand and collar. No features at all. And the reason why I use this shirt pattern a lot is because I can show the fabric design off on it. So it just means that if I have a really busy fabric, it's not going to get lost in all of the different features. I just want to show off the fabric. So I do come back to the shirt all the time. And I have been making this shirt for so long. I've got so many of these shirts in my wardrobe. And I still get a real buzz when I make this shirt. Now, I did use this shirt pattern in a sew along earlier in the year. So if you are a beginner sewer who really wants to have a go at making a shirt, go and check out that video because it will take you step by step through how to make this very simple shirt. And I also use this pattern in my pattern matching series. So once you've managed to do your first shirt, you might also like to think about doing some pattern matching. And if you've got this shirt pattern already in your stash, it's a bonus. Why not? So going through all the shirts, first of all, majority of these are going to be the B6747. So I'm just going to talk about the fabric. So the first shirt I made was in this very simple fabric. I'd had this in my stash for a really long time. So, and I was going to destash it, but there was something about it that I quite liked because I really like orange. So it has these lovely little orange and yellow flowers on it. And it's a really soft cotton lawn, very thin, great for the summer. And as you can see, there's not a lot to the actual shirt and some beautiful small orange buttons. So that was the first shirt out of the gate right at the beginning of the year. So this shirt is a bit more wackier. It's a bit more my sort of thing, bright colours and bit of a crazy print. I did practice pattern matching with this shirt, but it doesn't really need it because it is so busy. This fabric itself is a printed voile, very, very fine fabric. I like this shirt because it does go with black trousers. So I do have a nice pair of black linen trousers that I've had for a really long time, and they probably need to be replaced now, but it just looks, it really lifts the black. So shirt number 2. I made this out of some fabric. I had used this same fabric in a blouse I'd made the previous year, and I've really liked the fabric. It's a Lady McElroy fabric, and it's called Catwalk in Ink. And I just really thought it was an unusual fabric with this beautiful denim blue colour, though this is cotton lawn. And I did pattern match it, and I put some beautiful navy smarty buttons which I stitched on with white thread just to bring the white out in the actual print of the fabric. So that is my cat shirt. I mean, do you name your shirts? I name my shirts. That's my cat shirt. This is my holographic shirt, and I have been using my labels this year. So I have been putting labels in most of my makes this year, which was something new for me because I didn't really do labels before 2025, but I really got into it this year. So this is the holographic. Now this shirt is also a cotton lawn. This fabric has been in my stash for forever. And the 2 goals I set myself this year were better fitting clothes and also to make a significant dent in my fabric stash. So I had really worked through quite a few of those fabrics that I'd had for a while, so I was doing quite well. Now this holographic fabric, it's quite unusual to wear, though it's a solid, in my eyes, it's a solid colour. It does change colour as you move. It's got a sort of purple look and then a blue look. And when I came to choosing the buttons, I really couldn't decide what buttons to put on it because there was so much choice, but I decided to go with these lovely red diamante buttons, which I think just play a little bit on sort of red aubergine purpley colour, and I do wear this one quite a lot. It's quite a nice shirt. And I started to make a few shirts in William Morris design fabric. So I really like this traditional print fabric. And this is some beautiful pale, I think they're tulips, I'm not 100% sure, on this sagey green and cream background. I pattern matched this shirt, and this is one of the shirts that I use in my pattern matching series, and it's a lovely shirt to wear, and it's made in a poplin, so it's a bit heavier than cotton lawn, but it still works really nicely in the shirt pattern. And with this one, I found these really beautiful sparkly buttons which have a green and pale blue flecks of glitter in them. So I just thought that finished off this shirt really well. And staying with the William Morris theme, I bought some, and I didn't think I really liked this fabric very much when I bought it. It was in my stash for a little while, and but when I made it up, this is probably one of my favourite shirts. I do actually wear this quite a lot. And I made a matching, not a matching, but I made a skirt to go with it to make a complete outfit. So I made a skirt and a jacket which go really well with this shirt, so you'll see that in a moment. But this is also cotton poplin, still B6747, and on this one, because of the tulips that run through the print, I decided to match the buttons to go with those particular tulips, just to break up this solid green and this striking blue that seems to pop through. So I really, really like this shirt. One of my favorites. Then to finish the year off, because I bought some really quirky fabric, I really was desperate to make a shirt up in this beautiful sardines fabric. The fabric itself is a little bit more muted than I normally opt for, because you've got these pastel colours in greens, blues, and pinks. But I think I really liked the quirkiness of it, because from a distance you can't really see the sardines, but as you get up close you can obviously see what the shirt pattern consists of. So really, really like this shirt, and I've just put some pale green buttons on this one. I mean, I could have put any colour really, but I'm trying to use my button stash as well, because that's getting a little bit out of control. Right, so they're all the shirts that I made for myself. This shirt, it's still the B6747, but this one I made for my daughter as a test garment. And she wanted the princess seamed version, which I made because it's more figure hug and it fits around the body better. So she wanted me to make her a white shirt, but I said to her initially that I would make it up in whatever fabric I had, pink fabric, and that once I had got the fit right, I would make it up in white for her. So I do have some white cotton lawn ready to go, because I'm just doing a few adjustments to the pattern piece. So once they're made, I can make her up that white shirt that she wants. But she said, actually, considering this is very bright for her, she said that she would wear this. Probably she's got a brown vest pullover. What do we call them? Tank tops. I think in the States you'd call them vests. But she has this brown tank top, which she said she would wear over the top of this, because it would obviously reduce that amount of brightness. So yeah, so it won't go to waste. So I'm really happy with that, and that she actually allowed me to make her something, because I have been trying forever to make her something. She's been very reluctant, but I think once I make up this white shirt, hopefully that will open up the floodgates for her to allow me to make her more things. So we'll see. The last two shirts I'm going to show you I actually made for my husband. So this is McCall's 6044, and these are novelty fabrics. He likes a bit of quirkiness, and each time, I mean, I've had these fabrics in my stash for quite a while, and I bought them really to I was going to make them for myself, but they're a bit too quirky for me and a bit novelty. So he saw them and he said he loved them. So I thought, great, because I can make him up these shirts and get them out of my stash. So the first one is a sugar skull fabric. Now I can't find these shirts, but I've got my project sheet, so you can see the fabric. It's got a black background with these really bright skulls on them, and I've made him this shirt a few times before, so I've got the pattern right for him. So it just meant getting the fabric cut out and made up. So that was the sugar skull one, and the other one was this really bright parrot fabric. Yet again, the print is on black, and the M6044. It's a beautiful man's shirt. It has various versions on it. So it has a short sleeved and a long sleeve. So whenever he wants a shirt, I just ask him long or short, and then I'll go off and make him his shirt. So moving swiftly onto blouse patterns. Now some of these are really nice and first makes for me, so I will be looking down at my project sheets to give you some more information. So the first blouse is the Buttericks 8325, and this was made in Lady McElroy hydrangea print fabric, and it is beautiful. So I made it up in an extra large, and I lengthened it by 4 inches. Now, Butterick's draft for a person who is 5'6", and I'm 5'7", and when I placed the pattern against me, I just felt it was a little bit short, and I really wanted it significantly longer, and so that's what I did. I did find that the size I picked was too big for me on the shoulders, and next time when I make this I will go down a size. But I wear this a lot. It's a really, really nice blouse. The sleeves I extended because I don't like short sleeves on me. I'm of an age now where I've got bat wings. I like to hide them as much as I can, and I will always lengthen the sleeve so it falls below my elbow. But these come down to my in between my elbow and my wrist, so they're sort of 3/4 length sleeves. And this design has these tucks in the front, so there are a few tucks, 6 or 7 tucks that go one direction and the other go the other direction, so they're split and go each way. Then on the back, I pattern matched the seam on the back, and it has this opening here at the top. Now, I have a real problem with hook and eyes. I hate them with a passion, because whenever I've used in the past, they would always come undone, and I'd end up walking around with the back of my blouse just flapping open, and within seconds of re-fastening them, they would fall open again. So I have stopped using hook and eyes, and I now use poppers. So I put a popper in instead, and I just put the little tab so it sits behind the blouse. So all you get is that tiny little shiny popper front. And once they're popped up and fastened, they do not come undone, and they are easy to get on and off. So that is my hydrangea 8325 blouse. I will definitely make another one of those. So the next blouse I made was with a Frida Kahlo print fabric, and it was 20% bamboo, 40% viscose and 40% polyester. It's quite vibrant, and I used it in one of my pattern matching series. Now, I hurt my shoulder at the beginning of last year, and when I made this up, I couldn't put it on, and I still have difficulty putting it on because my shoulder is still not right. But hopefully by the time summer comes, because this is definitely a summer blouse, I will be able to get into this blouse. Now, the front of it, it's got a 2-panel front which I pattern matched, because right at the bottom it has this split, and you can, if you want, tie it, but I quite like that to remain open. When I was making this, the actual split started higher up, and I found because this is a second make, so I found on my first make that split was way high, and it just kept on showing my tummy off. So when I came to make this one, I looked back on my project sheet and saw that I needed to stitch down further on the front seam, which I did do. And the sleeves are also ties, which I have tied. And because this fabric is so thin, even though you get to see the wrong side of the fabric, it is not obvious because it's not white. So it still makes up this beautiful sleeve. And the sleeve is about 3/4 length. So these ties don't end up finding themselves in your cups of tea or gravy or sauces, whatever. The back has also been pattern matched, and yet again I have used a popper fastening. Yeah. So once it's done up, it doesn't come undone. And I did manage to put a lovely label into this one as well, which says stitched with love. Very, very vibrant. Actually, I can't wait to wear that. I might try it on later, see whether I can get my arm up. Right. So this blouse is Simplicity 3786. And I don't know whether this pattern is actually still around. I had it in my stash for a really long time, and because I hacked into it so much, I ruined it. And I went to buy another one and realized it was no longer out there. And one of you lovely subscribers found it, so I went and purchased it because I wanted it to be in a bigger size. I think the smaller sizes are still out there. But because I wanted the bigger size range, I was having difficulty replacing it. But it has been replaced and is back in my stash. So now I trace, as you know, I trace off my paper patterns. So this one is beautiful. I just love everything about this, the design features in this blouse. You have these really, really fine pin tucks down the front, which stop sort of midway, and then they cascade down and give you more volume in the bottom of the blouse. The top is also princess seam, so it's got a panel each side. Then the sleeves a little bit off shoulder, they come down straight, which I quite like because my tops of my arms are quite big, so I don't like too much volume in the top. Though saying that, I'm thinking of a blouse that I have made which has a lot of volume and I absolutely love it. So yeah, ignore me. So the sleeve comes straight down, and then as it comes, I think it's just above the elbow, you have this section here which is like a lantern sleeve, and is gathered into a band at the bottom. Really, really nice look. And the back is straight, and you have a little bit of elastic inside, which just cinches in the back slightly, so it gives you a little bit of shape. This fabric had been in my stash probably 20-30 years, and I got to a point where I really did not like it and I was going to de-stash it. But when I made it up in this blouse, I just fell in love with it, and I love wearing it. It is very fine indeed. But I did find when I was ironing it, after a few makes, I'd obviously not caught the neckline very well, and I've had to put some interfacing there to ensure that the collar and the back of the fabric stay in place. I mean, you can see right at the back here, it just pulled slightly out, but obviously when I've got this on, you can't see that. And so hopefully I will get quite a bit of wear out of her before she starts hopefully fraying again. And I love these labels. Made with love, powered by Tear. I think all of those labels, I've used those. So the next two blouses I made because I really wanted to use up some calf facet fabric that I had bought at an exhibition, and I love the vibrancy of his fabric. And I was really struggling because I bought 2 meters of each, and I was really struggling to find a pattern that I could use more, because I forgot that the calf facet fabrics are really for quilting and they're very narrow. So this fabric was, I think, 112 centimeters wide, so it was quite narrow. But I found McCall's 7360, and the first one I made was this pink one in his ammonites fabric, and it's so vibrant. So it has a front which has a placket halfway down, and I did put some lovely pink, soft pink buttons on, nothing special, soft pink buttons. And it has a yoke at the back with one back piece, straightforward sleeves with cuff, and inside it has tabs with buttons. So in the summer you can roll up your sleeves and tab them back, and it makes really, really nice summer blouse. So with this fabric, because I didn't have as much as I wanted, when I came to do the burrito yoke, sorry, I had to use some cotton lawn that I had in my linings box. So I used this cotton lawn that I had left just to do the internal yoke. And yet again, I put one of my favourite labels in there. So that was the first calf facet blouse. And the second one, I don't know the name of this fabric, but it's exactly the same as the last one. And it has this flat collar, which just sits nicely. Great for summer. And yet again, because I didn't have enough fabric for cutting both yokes, I cut out some like a lilac coloured lining, and yet again another one of those labels. So that's really bright, and these, I love wearing these in the summer. They really do stand out, nice and bright. So the next blouse I made was a free pattern from Maison Fauve called the Tilda blouse. Now when I made this up, I did get a little bit confused by the sizing, because it's a French pattern, and I think some of the terminology was lost in translation, because they kept on mentioning back bust, where I think they probably meant back bodice. So once you go through it, and I do suggest that you read through the instructions first, and when you realise what they're saying, it all becomes clearer. But I did find the line drawings really made this pattern for me, because when I started to follow those, I didn't have any problems at all. So the pattern itself is nice and free. I did make the blouse a little bit too big for me, because I do seem to have a problem with, if I follow a pattern and use the full bust measurement, it's always too big on the shoulders for me. So even though this feels too big on the shoulders, I wear it all the time. It's a really, really nice blouse. And I found some double gauze in my stash in a solid colour. So it was nice to get a solid colour garment in my wardrobe. And the features of this blouse are these beautiful tucks here at the top, which come down and they stop at different levels, and then they finish and the fabric cascades down. You get this nice floaty feel to the blouse, and that feature is duplicated on the sleeve. So you get some tucks on the sleeve, which are then stitched into a sleeve band. The back is just stitched up, and I did use a button on this one, which hasn't been a problem actually, and a tiny little dinosaur label. So because I like this blouse so much, I actually went on to make a second one, in quick succession. And I'm just going to go and find it. So here's the second one, and this was fabric that I'd had in my stash for a really long time, so I was quite pleased to get this made up. And I made it in a smaller size, and I made it too small, so I've gone from too big to too small. And this one I can't wear. With making this smaller, it also made the sleeves shorter. And these sleeves, because they're shorter, they have come up onto the widest part of my arm, and they feel very uncomfortable. So I do find that I'm pulling my sleeve down all the time. So I've made a note in my project sheet that when I make this blouse again, it's the third time, and I will make it again because it's really nice blouse, I will go up one size and I will lengthen the sleeves so they fall back down just above my elbow. I think I can get away with. But this time with this fabric, I put a popper fastening on, and I just used a bit of twill tape which is then hidden at the back of the fabric. And what label did I use? Did I use a label? Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It it doesn't have to be perfect. Yes, quite right. Right, so that's that one. Really, really pretty fabric. So this next blouse is where I took part in the Sew Phoenix September 25, and it was where you got the opportunity to make something for a second time, so you gave it a second chance. So I'd made this blouse in a kiwi coloured Lady McElroy Cobra corsage fabric, and with that version, I absolutely loved the pattern, which is Simplicity 9467. So I made it in this. Now this is called Ruby, but I don't think it's very red. And the photography on the Sherwood site is a bit deceiving because it definitely looked red on the site. But for me, this is more clay, earthy colour. But even so, beautiful fabric. So I spent a bit of time actually fussy cutting the fabric and also pattern matching it, which was no small feat because there are quite a lot of panels to this blouse. So you have the front yoke, which I pattern matched, and you have the bottom fronts, they were pattern matched, and you have this ruffle that works from the front of the blouse all the way through to the back. So obviously you have a back yoke, that ruffle, and then the gathered back into the yoke. Then you have this horseshoe collar, it's really beautiful. Not the easiest thing to iron, admittedly. And then you have long sleeves with a cuff. Now I did change the cuff from what the pattern recommended because on the first make, the cuff just set really weirdly on the arm. It just felt like it was always at the top of the arm. So when I came to make this, I also changed the cuff positioning, which worked really well. So this fabric for me just is beautiful, and I just made sure that I had the flowers all lovely positioned. I think I've got one on the arm somewhere as well. Yeah, so I love wearing this shirt. It's really, really pretty shirt indeed. So the next category is jersey tops. Now I've only got 2 to show you. I did make 4 in total, but I can't find the other 2. So all of these patterns were Pattern Emporium, and I've really enjoyed working on their patterns this year. And I hadn't made many jersey things in the past, so I did try to embrace it more this year. And even this one that I've got on was made in 2024, and this is a Pattern Emporium Bound to Be tee, which I absolutely love. And 2 of the jersey tops I'm supposed to show you are of this pattern, so you can see what it looks like. But the first one is I bought some burn out fabric, and I bought quite a few meters of it, and it had been in my stash for a while, and I just bought the fabric because I liked it. I didn't buy it for a specific project. But when Pattern Emporium released their Chasing Butterflies pattern, I just knew that this fabric would work really well, and this is glorious to wear in the summer because it's loose and it's very fine. And even though it's burnt out fabric, I can get away with just wearing a bra under this. It's not so see-through. Let me just see if I can. So you can see my hand. It's not so see-through that it shows everything. But sometimes I wear a camisole under it as well to give it a little bit of a different look, really. So the sleeves, I just pattern match down the seams. So you can see it all pattern matched down the seams. And the nice thing about it is because the stripe goes vertical, when it comes onto the arm and you're moving around it, the stripes will move with the jersey top, and I made this version with a lower neck, um, a stitched over cuff, and just put a band on the bottom. A really nice and simple make. I can see why people like making jersey garments because they're just so quick. After I made that one, I was very keen to make another one. And I think I made these when my sewing machine went off to be serviced, because my service took something like 4 or 5 weeks. It was ridiculous. So I did make these because I knew I can make these just on the overlocker. And I made this one and I hate it. I really do not like it. The fabric is lovely. I just, I made it. It's been laundered and it's been put in my wardrobe and it has remained there. I've never once pulled it out. So I will probably give this to charity. And I think the label says it all, actually. It says, "I'd rather be napping." This jersey is obviously a bit more heavier. The sleeves I did different, so I put a wider sleeve band on in some cuffing that I bought, and it's got a blue band at the bottom and also around the neck. So the neck was higher up. But it's just something about this that I don't particularly like. Maybe I should give it another try, actually. But yeah, if I was going to wear uh, any of these butterfly tops, it would be the pink one. And I think I always gravitate towards that colour anyway. So the other two jersey tops I made was a bound to be top, but I also made it in the burnt out fabric in that pink and coral colorway, because I had some of that left and just enough to make this t-shirt. And the second t-shirt I made was also bound to be, but I made it in a grey bamboo jersey, and it was buttery soft, and I do wear it quite a bit, and I think it's probably in the wash. But I really enjoyed working with Pattern Emporium patterns, and I've made a few of their patterns throughout the year, and I'm going to come to one of them in a minute, which is one of my favourites. Oh, look what I've just found. I've been pulling out all the trousers to show you, and I've just found my bamboo grey bound to be t-shirt. It's so soft, it's lovely, and it's got a little label. Sewing is my superpower. So that's really nice. I'm glad I got to show you that at least. Going swiftly onto pants. Now, pants, I've been a bit like my shirt pattern, the B6747. All the pants I've made this year have been the Seaforth pants. I fell in love with them. I've probably made about 12 pairs so far, not all this year, but I have made a lot of them this year, and I think I will, last year, I think I will venture into a different pattern this year. So I just quickly go through the fabrics. So first of all, I made them in this stretch chino fabric, which I bought from Sherwood's. Absolutely beautiful fabric, but not the best fabric for this pattern because of that stretch. And because these trousers are very loose fitting, I find that after a while they look baggy. So they do take on a different shape after a bit of time. Then I made them in this dark teal twill. It's lovely. I absolutely love these, and I do have a tennis jacket cut in this fabric. So I'm hoping that if I can get that jacket made up, I can wear this as a matching outfit. But if I don't do it soon, I know what happens is the trouser fabric will probably fade quicker than the jacket fabric, and then they won't look like they match. But this fabric is a beautiful, beautiful colour. I then made some in some brown bengalin, and I was quite surprised by this fabric because when it came, I really didn't like the look of it at all. But I had bought some in brown and I'd bought some in a navy, and I thought just make them up. So I made them up, and they are probably my go-to seaforth pants, especially at this time of year where it's colder, because made up, they have a really funny feel about them. They feel heavy, but they're really soft to wear. And God, do they keep me warm. So I made some up in brown, which I can't find, but I have got the blue ones on, so I'll stand up and show you those. So here's the blue, and you can see they're a really nice colour, and the Seaforth pants have these side pockets which are zippered, and they are just a really, really nice feel to them. They're just super, super soft, and I do love to wear them. And my last pair of Seaforths are, I just had this really lightweight poplin fabric in this geometric print, and I just made another pair of them up. I did go for a stage of batch cutting, and I had quite a few of these, and also my shirt batch cut for when I felt like making something that I knew very well. So I think this year I'm going to move away from Seaforth pants a little bit. I do like them very much. So moving swiftly from pants, trousers, onto skirts. Now, I only made one skirt this year, and it was Pattern Emporium's Easy Does It skirt, and I made it in the green to go with that really dark William Morris shirt that I made. So you'll have to excuse how this looks, because I was wearing this yesterday and I've just pulled this out of the wash. So the skirt is beautiful. It's got a flat front. I did it with the pockets and the flap pocket to match, and I top stitched it with pink top stitching, and the back is just slightly gathered, which is really nice because it hasn't got a zip, so you can just literally pull this up over your bottom, and it just fits really well. Though I did have major problems with the sizing, and I did spend quite a bit of time trying to get this skirt to fit. And because of that, I abandoned the inseam pockets. But I would like to make this again, because the fabric itself is a cotton twill, and it works out really well in this skirt. So I wouldn't mind buying some more of this twill in a different colourway and having another go at making this skirt. When Pattern Emporium released their lyrical shirt pattern, I knew straight away I just had to have it. It is absolutely beautiful. And when I saw the pattern, I instinctively knew what fabric I was going to use with it. So the pattern was bought, and I worked on it straight away, and I just loved all of the features. So first of all, it had this very soft neck opening with the ties, which I thought were really quite feminine. And you can see this beautiful fabric works really well. And I also had some buttons that worked really well with this fabric. These have been in my stash for a long time, and they're white with a black surround. And the print of the fabric also has these white flowers with black surround. So I just felt that they worked really well. The thing that drew me was the sleeves. So these sleeves are heavily gathered, and they have this beautiful sleeve finish at the end, and it's an elasticated sleeve, and when you've got it on, the sleeve sort of hides underneath, the elasticated bit hides underneath, and it sort of bellows over, up, and then you get that beautiful sleeve end here. Now, I did do a bit of a hack on it because I didn't want the ugly side of the fabric to show on the underneath of the sleeve, because obviously you would be moving around and that sleeve would just fall open, and I really did not want the wrong side of this fabric, which is boring, to show. So I just did a little hack. So that don't get that. So when it flips back, you can see that we have that beautiful fabric continued into the underneath, which I loved. It does have a back yoke. Now, Pattern Emporium, for some reason, don't do double yoke. So they don't use burrito style, they just use a single yoke. So what I did is I just cut a second yoke out in a different fabric because I didn't have enough of this fabric, and just did a burrito anyway. And I felt it was necessary because the weight of these sleeves, they're quite hefty sleeves. There's a lot of fabric in these. And I just felt that with the double yoke, it supports that sleeve head really well. And I put her label in, handmade with love. And yes, she is a dream to wear. I only made one jacket this year, and that was a McCall's 8121 biker jacket. Now, I had made the Easy Does It skirt by Pattern Emporium, and I'd also made the shirt that went with the skirt, and I really wanted to finish off the look with a jacket. So I decided on the biker jacket, and I hadn't made one of these before, but this had a separating zipper and I hadn't used one of those before. So it took me through a few techniques that I hadn't experienced, and I really enjoyed taking you along on the journey with me, because there were a few videos in the series. I did hit a few bumps along the way, but managed to resolve them and ended up with this really beautiful jacket. So you can see inside she has some of the William Morris fabric. I had some of that left. I didn't realize I had so much actually, but it gave me the opportunity to line her with the fabric. And I did line the sleeves with a green lining fabric because I wanted to use a slipperier fabric in the sleeves, because it's obviously easier for me to get my arm in and out of the sleeves if you've got a slipperier lining. And she had a really nice back armhole detail here where it was all top stitched, and I also used some of the William Morris fabric in that detail, and also on the under collar as well. And I finished her off with one of my favorite labels, Made with Love, Powered by Tea. So she finished the whole look, and I'm really inspired to keep that sort of theme going, that every time I make something, maybe, you know, do something else, make something else that will go with it, or pull something that I've already made out of my wardrobe and then make something to go with that, because I'm trying to make my wardrobe work a bit better for me. So she has inspired me, and I really enjoyed the fact that she is lined. It really elevates a garment, and at this time of year, it definitely keeps you a lot warmer. I have worn her quite a bit actually, because boxy in her look, you can wear nice thick jumpers under her, so she has worked out really well. So I hope to make more of these in the future. So going into the dresses category, I made 4 dresses. One of them was the Juno dress, which was part of a Fabric Godmother subscription box. Loved the fabric. Didn't particularly like the dress because I think it was more a younger person's dress, because it was a baby doll. It was too high up on the leg, and I had to do quite a few alterations. Now, I don't have that dress to show you because I wore it a few times and I just didn't feel it was me. So I cut it up, and it's sitting in the corner because I want to reuse the fabric on something else. But just as a reminder, that's the fabric, and I really liked the fabric, just didn't like the dress. So I then moved on to a dress that had been sitting in my whip box box for a really long time. So when I cut the fabric out, I was a lot smaller than I am now. So I thought I would make it up to see whether I could fit into it, but it was obviously not a good fit. So this will go to charity or the recycling bin. So I probably learned a lesson not to leave anything in my whip box for too long, because I'll end up it either being too small or too big. So this will go to somebody who will appreciate it. So after making my snakeskin jersey wrap, I decided that I wanted to make the Vogue 2000, which was a commemorative dress that had been re-released to celebrate the wrap dress, which I think was 70 or 50 years old. I think it was 50 years old. So I decided to use up some fabric that I'd got in another Fabric Godmother subscription box, and it wasn't particular fabric that I would have picked myself. It was pale blue, so it's a bit too pale for my skin tone, but even so it turned out really well. I did have a few problems with the facing of the dress, and I made some notes on my project sheet about the facing and, you know, what I will do next time when I come to make this dress. So the dress is here, and you can see this beautiful fabric. This is called Dolce Vita. It's from the Fabric Godmother summer collection, and it's a viscose lawn, and it has these really beautiful sort of sleeves that are held together with a button, and it has got the wrap. And I think because it's woven fabric, I think I would probably make it in stretch fabric next time. There's something about a wrap dress in stretch fabric. I just think it suits the wrap sort of look better, because it sort of fits better over the bust. But even so, I will wear this in the summer. It is a really nice fabric with all the beautiful detail. So my last dress of 2025 was the Simplicity 8014. So you have just recently seen this, because this was my last video. And believe me, when I wore this in the garden, it had just snowed, so it was very cold. And I realised this is probably a summer dress, so I will wait for the weather to get a bit warmer before I wear this again. Now, I did have a few sizing issues with this dress, and I've already revisited my pattern and made the appropriate adjustments. So I'm ready to make this dress when the time comes. But that was my last make of 2025. And she's a joy. She really is a pretty dress to wear. So I made 4 bags in 25, and the first one was the spring roll bag. And I made this for my husband. I bought some faux leather from AE Markets in various colours, and I wanted to make something that was more manly and masculine than doing something in a tulip pink fabric, because he just wouldn't use it. So I have literally got it out from his bathroom, so you'll have to excuse it because it's full of stuff. So basically the spring roll sits, it's square, but it's sort of at an angle. It has, like, that's the top there with the handle, and I did it in this beautiful faux leather with this really nice zipper that I bought from Country Cow Designs, and I put on a little skull zip puller, and inside I lined it with orange ripstop fabric. I love ripstop fabric. I don't know why, because it feels very synthetic, but it's just so bright and vibrant, and it just allows you, especially in toiletry bags, it allows you to, though it's not waterproof, it's water resistant, and you can clean out the bag. So if anything spills, you can clean it before it ruins the fabric. So inside it has various slip pockets, and it has this middle zipper pocket as well. So that's his spring roll pouch. So the next thing I made was an all around zipper wallet or purse. So I simplified the pattern by just removing the D-rings on the outside. So this was the purse, and I love this. I use this every day because it is so flat and slimline. It's not heavy. It doesn't get caught on anything in my handbag. And the zipper, as suggested in the name, goes all the way around and then it opens up. And I made this with some scraps from the Frida Kahlo fabric, the internal bit. So I've got the Frida Kahlo fabric in the middle with the turquoise purse zipper in the middle, and this was a bit of a tester because I've not made many bags, and I learned a lot from making this purse, and I know I definitely want to make this again and try different interfacings to thicken up the coin purse in particular because it's too flimsy. But it has a lot of card slots in. I think altogether it has 12 card slots, and it has little side pockets as well. So for a very small, slim looking purse, it packs a punch, and I would really like to make more of these. And there it is, it's beautiful faux leather that I also got from AE Markets. So the next bag I made was the Caitlin bag, and this was a test bag. So I made it up with what I had in my sewing room, and this beautiful faux leather embossed red fabric. And she comes with, well, I made a really nice long strap, an adjustable strap. And though this isn't a typical look that I would go for, I mean, I added some tassels onto her. She looks a bit oriental, but she's turned out to be an excellent bag. I literally use her every time I go out. The simplicity of her is what I love because she has two slip pockets at the front, a zipper pocket at the front here, absolutely nothing on the back, and just one zip pocket inside. So when I'm out and I've got my matching purse, that just literally, you know, drops in. It doesn't get caught on anything, which I love. And the inside of her is also being decked out in this red ripstock fabric. I just love this stuff. I just think it makes really good internal, it's a really good internal fabric for bags. And she's just finished off with a magnetic clasp. So yeah, really, really simple bag. Definitely will make more of these. I do have some of the green corduroy left over from my biker jacket, so I could make it with this same black canvas with the green corduroy on the front, and I've got a nice bag to go with my biker jacket, my William Morris shirt and my skirt, a full outfit. So yeah, I might also do that this year, so watch this space. So I also made a tote bag. So I made the Totally Amazing Tote Bag by Adam Sews. And I'm really proud of this bag because I made the fabric myself. So I literally got all my scraps out and picked out green, well, fabrics with any green colour in them. I cut out hexes and I hand stitched them all together. So effectively made my own piece of fabric, which I then stitched onto Styleville, and using Adam's pattern made this beautiful tote bag, and I absolutely love it. It's so bright and colourful, and because Adam is such a fan of Tula Pink, there is a lot of Tula Pink scrap fabric in this bag, and I also lined her with the Tula Pink fabric as well. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. And I finished her off with some lime green webbing, which has gold flecks in it. So I don't know whether you can see those flecks at all. But yeah, I love her. She is a favourite bag of mine, and I do take her shopping with me when I need to go and pick up a few bits and bobs. And last of all, I made the Nightingale zipper case. So I showed you this, I think, just before Christmas. and this is a gift from somebody, so I'm yet to give it to them, but to give you an opportunity to see it again. And this case is beautiful. The fabric is amazing, absolutely love it. The only thing I wasn't too sure about this case was the slider at the front, because it does take a while to get her undone. So I might make her again with snap poppers or Velcro. But inside you can see there's lots of lovely pockets, slip pockets, zipper pockets, and also this pouch as well. So she is a little zipper case, but she actually you know, is quite punchy. There's a lot going on, and she has a little handle. So I think she would make a really nice travel case, to be honest. But yeah, I really enjoyed making her, and I will definitely make another one. I might size up the pattern slightly with her because she's just a little bit too small for me, but we'll see. This last section is miscellaneous, so it's all those sort of things like coasters and placemats that fall into. So I did make Adam So's sofa tidy. So I've got it here. I do use her a lot because I do a lot of hand sewing. So she sits on the edge of my sofa, got my pin cushion there, which is absolutely covered in pins and thread. And yeah, so she works out really great. And the nice thing about her is I made her up also using scraps, and because of Adam's obsession with Tula Pink, I used Tula Pink fabrics, which I also seem to have a lot of in my stash box. So really pleased with her. Very, very colourful. So I put these two items under the miscellaneous category because they're just a little bit out of the ordinary. So these were things that I made for Doris and Daisy. So they're my two little Luna Lapin dolls that sit up on my shelf. And in the summer, I decided to make them dresses. So they both have a dress each. And I made these out of fabrics from my stash box. And they're just really simple dresses. So I also made some placemats, and I made quite a few of these. And I made one for my husband in a green. And this is so that when he is eating his dinner, which he eats a lot in front of the telly, he can place this on the front of him and put his plate and steady his plate and not get anything down his clothes, because he buys some really nice clothes and he always ends up getting tomato or something you can't get out of his tops onto his clothes. So I made him a placemat, and whilst I was there I decided to make myself one in pink. And because I had so much pink, I made quite a few of these. So we do have a few of these downstairs, and to be honest with you, as they've been washed, they do get softer, and these have been sandwiched with heat resistant wadding as well as Styleville. So they are quite sturdy, but they wash up really well. And also if you have a hot plate on them, it doesn't burn your hand. So they have worked out really well and saved quite a few pieces of clothing for my husband. So last of all, I did make a little Kindle case. Now I made a few of these. I made one for my son's girlfriend Danny, because she got a Kindle for her birthday. So I made her a really nice case. And I made this one for myself, but when I made hers a little bit different. And if I've got an image of hers, I will put it up on the screen so you can see it. But it's just a lovely case. It's just basically some Tula Pink fabric, which I've quilted. I've just put a little tab on with a popper, and the Kindle just sits inside, nice and secure, and just great for when you're traveling. So, or if you want to just put her in your purse. So very simple make. So this is probably a really long video, so thank you for sticking with me if you're still with me. And going through this whole process has made me realize that I really need to maybe venture out a little bit more, make some different shirts, And I'm still enjoying all my little projects that I go off and do on a tangent, so that won't change. I will probably make some more dresses and blouses this year. I think I've made far too many shirts. I need to venture out and just experiment. I'm going to go downstairs now and have a cup of tea and a rest because I feel exhausted. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, all those lovely things. And I will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.